Hello again and welcome to another video from the Marketing Study Guide. In this video I'm going to have a look at the two ways of measuring customer satisfaction and discussing which one you would use and which one's the best. My name is Jeff and I'm a long-term marketing lecturer and practitioner. Okay, as you probably know, customer satisfaction is just simply the intersection between what people expected to get pre-purchase, so our expectations over here, and the perception of value that we got. Okay, and the consumer will compare that mentally, either very quickly as a reflex action, well, that wasn't good, I didn't like that, or they, if for a more highly involved decision, may think about it and make notes of for and against, and was that the right choice for me? And depending on how that comes out, there's a scale that the consumer will move through. If expectations was here and performance was up here, then there's a positive gap, so that's positive confirmation, and that becomes a very highly satisfied or delighted customer. If it's roughly the same, if it's in line with expectations, then they're still satisfied. Oh, well, I expected that, that was good. Okay, so, but the level of satisfaction isn't as high, it's just sort of just satisfied or reasonably satisfied, not a very satisfied. And if it's anywhere below, again, we've got a gap. I expected this, but the delivery was a lot lower. Then we're dissatisfied or possibly very dissatisfied. So while I have, three boxes there, there's actually a continuum, so there's many more there. Okay, so let's have a look at the two measures. Okay, so I've got some survey here. So the survey would be on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with our firm? So obviously, customer satisfaction is asked of customers, not consumers, so they have to deal with the company. And usually, they're people in the service industry and they're dealing with this on an ongoing basis, and that's one reason we're measuring customer satisfaction to see if that's being maintained and hopefully improved. So when we score it, I've got 5, so they score there, and let's say there's 200 consumers, and I'm just going to multiply that out, so it gives me 1,000. 4 is the next score for satisfied, times 400, etc., etc. I end up with 1,000 consumers in my sample, and the total points is 3,500. Okay, that gives me an average of 3.5. So I repeat the same thing for firm B. Again, 1,000 people, just make it consistent. That's a fairly large sample, but just to keep it simple here. And I've got a little bit of different mix, and I've done it deliberately to get different outcomes. They have an average of 3.2. Okay, so they're below. So, firm A, 3.5, firm B, 3.2. However, that's the first way of measuring, and I've got the average score. The second one is to look at what's called the top 2 boxes. So very satisfied or satisfied. So I'm not considering anybody who's neither or dissatisfied. I'm only looking at customers who say, yep, I'm satisfied. And again, what we do, I should have percentages here, but I've got 600 out of 1,000, so 60%. And this one I have 650 out of 1,000, again, 65%. So I've got a reverse play here. So firm A previously was the best when I looked at overall, but now firm B is the best when I'm looking at the proportion of satisfied versus dissatisfied customers. Okay, so they're the two approaches. Okay, so that one there, firm A wins. That one there, firm B wins. Okay, so which approach is better, and when should we consider using each one? Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom one because it's easier to compare it that way. Okay, if I'm only looking at the top 2 boxes, I'm only concerned with the number of customers, or proportion of customers we are keeping satisfied. We would do that in a couple of situations. One, where we have preferred customers. So I've got, there could be high value customers and low value customers, and we focus a lot on the high value customers. So we actually have segmented our customers into value ranges or groups and go, okay, they're our gold customers, for want of a better word, and we're going to look after them and these are the other customers, not that important, not ideal. But what are the industries where we'd see that? We'd see that in banking, where we have wealthy people with a lot of money with the bank, or corporations dealing with the bank. They obviously bring in a lot of money. Hotels, where we have regular business customers, and conferences and events, and they're the customers to look after. Airlines, clearly they have a first class, a business class, and they pay a lot of money, and we want to look after them. Often in business-to-business markets, we'll have major clients and minor clients. Professional firms like accounting firms, consulting firms, legal firms, they will have some big-time customers and some not so valuable customers. So in those cases, we are going to want to satisfy a group or a segment of customers, not everybody. Okay, and simply it's a return on investment thing. Okay, potentially another reason is we're targeting heavy users. In some industries, particularly food and beverage and certain things like that, there are maybe not far off the 80-20 rule. It's not exactly, but you might have 20% of the customers in the industry that account for 60-70% of the sales. So we want to look after people who buy that product regularly and buy it in large quantities, as opposed to the occasional purchase of the light user. So in fast food, you might have people who go to fast food places 4 or 5 times a week, versus somebody who goes there once a month or something. So again, it's on a value thing. And when we've got switching barriers in place, so the satisfied customers, we have to work, and we try to retain them for satisfaction. And then we might be a bank, for example, and we've got a lot of customers that is difficult for them to switch. They may be most likely low value customers or less important customers to us, and we just know we are going to retain them because it's such a lot of work to change banks. Okay, so they're the reasons we would look at that particular metric. Obviously we're capturing both, but there's reasons for that. Okay, why would we look the other way? So this is firm A. Okay, in this case, we're interested in the overall customer. Before we were looking at a group, now we're looking at, okay, what is the score for everybody? The first way, the top 2 boxes, we're not looking at everybody, and whether they score is 3, 2 or 1, as in neither down to very dissatisfied, it doesn't affect our score. When we look at overall average, we have a lot of very dissatisfied. It will drag the score down. Okay, so it's a different metric in that regard. So we use it when we perceive most customers being worth the same value. The previous example, we were picking and choosing. We had a pyramid structure of value down to low value. Here we're treating everybody the same. So we might be perhaps a not-for-profit organization, or less focused on particular customers. Okay, so customers may be roughly equal value. Okay, the second thing is it may be very easy to switch. Okay, as before, banking, it was difficult to switch and things like that. And in often business-to-business market, there's long-term relationships and difficult decisions to find a new supplier, etc. So we might be in a market where we can win and lose customers very easily. So we're trying to keep as happy as possible. The next point down is word of mouth and online reviews. If we're in an industry where that is important, which may be hotels and restaurants, etc., where we check out reviews as a consumer, we want to keep everybody happy, because even though they're a low value customer, we want them to turn up and do a positive review. If we go, oh, well, you're not important, you're low value, and then they go away and we don't know this, but they have a following on social media, or they're a prolific review writer and they post multiple reviews, that's not good. So we've actually got to think of the implications of that. And the last one there could be just a strong brand that has societal expectations. So people expect a lot from us as an organization. okay, we're known as a leading brand. So we try to look after everybody rather than, being focused on the higher value ones. So that's why we would use top two boxes or the overall average. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense of which way to go on customer satisfaction metrics. Please subscribe to my channel and please check out my other videos.